This is one of my favorite things to do. Me being a part of this team here, workshops are my absolute favorite because whenever I ask practice members that's been here for a long time, what was that point that really changed not just your health but your family's health? People always refer back to a workshop that they came to, a seminar that they came to, and ever since that moment, after you learn that one information, it ended up radically changing your health. Okay, and I appreciate you guys for sitting in these seats here because this is a Monday night, right? You guys didn't have to be here, so you being here tells me that your health is a priority. And two, the reason why I love these workshops is because we have a room full of action takers. So throughout this whole workshop, I'm gonna ask you guys to commit to a couple of different things. It's number one, I love to engage with you guys, and so does Dr. Getty. I don't want this to be a lecture where we're just giving you guys all this information and you guys don't engage with me. Yeah. It's just like you go to the gym, you have two people that walk into the gym, one person is always lifting, sweating, doing cardio, right, eating right, and we have guy number two who's the talker where they're just being the social person, right? Who's gonna get the better results over time? Exactly. It's the first guy, right? Because they're engaged at the end of the day. So I ask you guys to really engage with me, engage with us. And the second thing that I'm going to ask you to do is truly be present with us today for this next hour or so, okay? And the last thing, which I think is the most important one that I'm going to ask you guys to do is to just really think about what we say today. We're never going to ask you guys to think like us, but I'm just going to simply ask you guys to think, okay? So who is here for the first time? This is our first workshop. We got a couple people. Okay, awesome. I love this atmosphere because we have the first timers in here. We have patients that have been here for years now, so that's great. So why do we choose this specific topic, boosting your immune system? Is this time of the year, I like to call this the post-holiday red zone, where you go through Thanksgiving, you go through Christmas, you go through the New Year, and everyone's really stressed. Everyone is exhausted. And everyone's immune system's down, and this is where everyone starts to get sick. All of a sudden there's a cold going around. All of a sudden there's another virus. All of a sudden there's another stomach bug that runs rampage through your family members. But we're going to talk about why that is, okay? Because the reality of the situation is what CDC says is about 20% of adults are going to get the flu this year, okay? At least average adult is going to get sick about 4 to 6 times this year, and that's the adults. When it comes to kids, those numbers get a lot higher, right? And we really feel this time of the year because I can tell you this, a lot of practice members start to drop off. You guys start to disappear during this red zone. So we have to educate you guys so you guys keep you guys around. Is that fair? Yeah. All right, perfect. So this is the reason why we do this these workshops. This year we have at least one workshop per month. There's a seat right here, up here, Karen, right over here. This is truly our mission to empower not just you guys, the individual but families, okay? Because if you guys, answer this question that are we sick or are we healthy in this country?
Sick.
We're sick. And is that getting any better or is that getting worse? Worse. Right, I read this crazy statistic the other day that said that the kids, this is the first generation where the parents are going to outlive the children if we keep doing what we're doing. That's the reality. So it's our mission to radically change the health of not just you, but every single family member that we come in encounter with. That's why we do these workshops. It's not for us, right? It's for you guys. Because if you guys can just get one thing to take away and apply to your life, it's going to change your health and change your life forever. Is that fair? Yeah. So before we continue any further, if you guys are note takers, I want you guys to just write 1, 2, 3 at the top. 1, 2, 3. And the reason why I'm going to have you guys do that is by the end of this workshop, I want you guys to have at least 3 action steps that you are going to actually commit to after this workshop. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. So here's the current state of health. You guys already said this. We're sick. We're sicker than we've ever been before. Depending on the stat that you look at, in the United States, we're ranked about 36 in the world when it comes to health. Okay? We're less than 4% of the world's population, yet we take about 70% of the world's prescription drugs. Right? And what the statistics show is about 50% of American adults have at least one chronic disease. That's half of us in this room. Okay? 80% of the people are on at least one prescription drug. And that number goes up to 5 if you're above the age of 60, okay? And what the statistics show is that 99% of Americans are either not happy, healthy, or we're not on track to stay that way. 99%. I know that number gets so big that we're like, okay, that's not my problem, right? I'm in the 1%, right? People think like that all the time. But I want you guys to put yourself in the shoes and see the family members around you. Are you truly in that 1%? Okay? Because when we look at what we're really good at in the United States, we're number 1 when it comes to infant mortality. We're number 1 when it comes to maternal mortality, when we compare ourselves to other rich countries. So something has to radically change, right? So let's look at this. How much of an impact is this really having? When it comes to US healthcare cost, we're number 1 in the world. We spend more money on healthcare than any other industrialized country in the world, yet we're so sick, right? When it comes to money per capita, this is how much you're paying out of pocket every single year, 12 grand, right? So if I don't spend that 12 grand, someone has to take my load. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
So no wonder why, because last time you flipped through the channel, you landed on the news, what is it about?
All the negative
Ozempic.
stuff out
It's
there.
all about Ozempic. That's a whole nother conversation. What was that about?
All the negative stuff.
All
that's
the negative stuff. There's a new virus, there's a new bacteria, there's a new something. It's all about fear, fear, fear. It's all negativity. And what does that do to the whole country? We have this narrative that, hey, we have to be scared of everything. Well, we can't walk out these doors because our body's weak. We need this chemical, we need this potion to stay healthy, right? And when our stress goes up, what happens to our immune system? It starts to crash, right? But here's what we know to be true, right? Throughout this whole workshop, we're always going to go back to this, and this is our premise, right? What we know to be true is that being healthy is normal, right? Because can you guys agree with me that your body's designed to heal at the end of the day?
Yes.
Right? You get a cut on your foot, right? Does it take a single conscious thought for that cut to heal?
No.
When you break a bone, does it take a single conscious thought? Right? Because you have this innate ability to heal, right? God created us this way,
Yes.
right? And when we honor that innate ability, innate intelligence, then your body's going to be healthy. That's the natural state. So whenever we say that we're going to boost your immune system, we're not boosting anything. We're just simply getting you back to what you're supposed to be like in the first place. Are you guys following me so far?
Yes.
Second, your body's incredibly smart, right? So we have this belief in this country, we have to draw a line in the sand that body's either incredibly smart or it's incredibly dumb. Your body either needs no interference and just leave it alone, or your body needs this chemical, this medication, this vaccine to be strong. Is that making sense, everyone? Right? That's that innate intelligence that we're talking about. And that innate intelligence always, always, always runs through your nervous system, right? Your nervous system is a master control center, which means that every cell, tissue, organ in your body needs a clear neurological flow to do what it's designed to do, right? We're always going to come back to this. And your spine, the only reason why we look at your spine is a suit of armor that protects this delicate structure that makes you who you are, okay? And the last thing, modern life. Would you guys agree with this last statement? It's unmanageable stress.
Yeah.
And do you guys think that's going to get better or worse over time? It's going to get worse, right? So it's not a matter of you removing yourself from those stressors, because I can tell you stress management is not real, right? But what we can do is prepare our body and create this environment where your body can adapt to those stressors and thrive, okay? So anytime we talk about a nutrition, your supplement, an action step, we're not saying, hey, this is this magic pill that you can do to boost your immune system. Everything that we're going to say is from a foundation of we're trying to give your body exactly what it needs to do the things that it's designed to do in the first place.
Right.
We're going to get you back to normal state, okay? So let's start with this. Why are we so scared of germs and bacteria? And it goes all the way back to 1960s, where the germ theory started. So Louis Pasteur, he actually did a study of 4 years where they looked at, okay, these germs, it's the germs and the bacteria that's actually causing you to be sick, okay? And that's still the accepted idea and theory today, right? Because they say, okay, we gotta eliminate all the germs in the world, all the bacteria in the world, so that you guys can stay healthy, right? But what we know to be true is this, inside and on our body, Bacteria, germs, and viruses outnumber human cells 10-1.
Yeah.
So if it's truly the germs, the bacteria, and the germs, and that makes us sick, right? I love this statement right here by B.J. Palmer. He's a developer of chiropractic. If germ theory of disease were correct, there would be no one living to believe it, right? Because, guys, we cannot eradicate the germs in the world. Right, especially in the COVID season, right? There was always a hand sanitizer every 10 feet, right? They said stay 6 feet away because germs are gonna make you sick, right? Here's another wipe, here's another ointment to eradicate the germs, right? Yeah, we take our phone to the bathroom, scroll through it, we never clean that, right? So it just makes no sense. Wear these gloves so where you can, touch other things, right? I'm not trying to call anybody out. This is the things that the news told us to do, right? Wear this glove, touch everything, but the same thing that you touch with your skin and gloves is the same thing, right? So what's the theory that we really believe in? This is by Anthony Bachan, and what he created was he was a rival of Louis Pasteur, and the terrain theory just says that it's not the germ that makes you sick, it's the host itself, right? It's the strength of the host. Because how is it possible that two people can live in the same house, sleep in the same bed, and one person gets sick and one person doesn't? Right? How is it possible that we can go to school or go to work with 50 other people during COVID season? Some people got sick, some people didn't. Right? Why is it that some people died or lost their life and had a severe symptom while other people tested positive, right? Yet they didn't have a single symptom. It's always the strength of the host. Okay, so again, when we talk about these different things, we're not there to boost your immune system. We have to learn how to return back to normal. Okay, so let's talk about how your immune system works in the first place. And I'm not going to go too much into detail here, but your body, from the outside in, it was designed to fight off any diseases. You guys believe that to be true, right? Because when it comes to different layers of protection, right, you got your first layer, right, which has your skin, your mucus, your tears, your sweat, even your digestive enzymes, to things like your hair, your eyelashes, even your nose hair. Those are the physical barriers that's keeping the bad stuff out, okay? And then when it comes to the second layer of defense, these are the cells and the proteins that's innately in your body that's designed to fight for you, okay? We call that your innate immunity. This is something that you were born with. This is something that you were given from your parents as that breast milk goes through and you're digesting those antibodies in your system, okay? And then the last line of defense is what we call your adaptive immunity. We're gonna talk about that in just a minute. Is when you go through life and your body faces different bacteria and viruses, your body remembers those pathogens. You have these special cells that literally remember those things so that the next time you encounter that germ, your body can fight it off more efficiently and more effectively. Isn't that amazing, right? We take that for granted because we don't feel those things happening in our body, but it's happening as we speak, okay? So let's talk about what viruses are. Go ahead.
I can ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead. I just want to ask, okay, the T cell memory, the difference between that and then the, what is it called? mRNA changing. So when they're giving the vaccine, the new version of it for the COVID, they said that if you got it, you're a better chance at your body having that forever memory of that
We're gonna talk about that.
versus, okay, that's it, I just wanted to talk about that,
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Mhm.
If I don't address that, remind me about that.
Okay, no
That's
problem.
super important.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's talk about viruses for a second. COVID, flu, whatever that might be. Because what happens is people originally thought that viruses are just something that goes around in the air on the surface that's ready to attack you, like a snake or something, like an enemy. But what we know to be true about viruses are simply mRNA or DNA. They're just fragments of information. They're on this line of being alive, being considered alive, or not living at all, right? So viruses in and of itself are just fragments of information. They're not out to get you, right? They're just there, right? Because viruses actually need a host to start to replicate and make you symptomatic. Okay? So just like we talked about before, it's not about the bacteria or viruses that's in our environment. It's about the strength of the host to actually fight through those things, okay? Because we were taught that, hey, every single time a person lays on the table or use a surface, hey, we need to wipe that thing down, right? Because the viruses are coming to get you, right? But again, there's so much on our skin, our environment, it just simply cannot eradicate those things. Is that making sense, everyone? So, viruses in and of itself is not something that we need to fear. So when it comes to your innate immune system, I'm gonna really focus on fever for a second. I'm a nerd when it comes to reading research articles, and I have it printed out right here, and I'm new to creating QR codes, so maybe that QR code would actually send you to that research article. But this is called Let Fever Do Its Job. Let Fever Do Its Job. Because let me ask you guys, is fever a good thing or a bad thing?
A good thing.
It's a
A
good thing.
good thing, right? Because I don't know about you guys, but when I was growing up in Korea, they said when you have a feed the fever, right? Make yourself even hotter, right? Why? What is that fever doing?
It's killing off the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Building your immune system.
So if you like this stuff, I ran into this rabbit hole when it comes to fever, and what we know to be true is that when you are faced with a pathogen, this a part of your brain actually starts to raise your body temperature. And the reason why that is that when you're at that higher body temperature, these immune cells, like we talked about, the B cells, the T cells, the phagocytes, their motility, meaning how fast they can actually get to those pathogens, right, they actually increase, right? And the fever is almost like the first line of defense. And what we know to be true is that when your body temperature goes up, the ability for that bacteria and the viruses and the pathogen to replicate slows down significantly, okay? So when you have a fever and you're uncomfortable and you take that NSAID or acetaminophen or a Tylenol, right, what are you truly doing? You're waging war against your own body trying to heal you. Yes, the benefit of taking that drug is you start to feel better, but the cost is that you're sick longer. The cost is that those bacteria and viruses are actually replicating at a rapid rate, and your body cannot fight through those replications. Especially during COVID season, right, where there was almost a shortage of acetaminophen because the fever would go up, and the initial line of defense in the human body was suppressed. So the viruses ultimately replicate and will end up in this later stages of that virus cycle, and then there's just so much that your body has to fight through, and now you have this ultimate symptom that your body just cannot fight, and you end up being sick longer and longer and longer. Is that making sense, everyone?
It makes sense.
Right. So when it comes to the adaptive immune system, again, this is like almost your last line of defense. So as the human species was going through our timeline, right, every bacteria, every virus that we encounter, right, there's something called your lymphocytes, where they're really learning how to recognize the pathogens. It's almost like a military intelligence. When they recognize the pathogen, they tell the soldiers to go, go. Okay? Now the T cells are like the soldiers, right? They actually do the killing, they actually do the eating, right? And engulfing those pathogens. So, as a kid, growing up in the younger population, they should be exposed to as many pathogens as possible. Go play with your kids, right? And when I was younger, there was a family, that kid that had chicken pox, right? And what do people say? Hey, go hang out with them, right? Why? Because as you fight through that, your body remembers those memory cells, you will never get it again. It's sort of the same purpose, right? But what's that?
One and done.
Exactly. And when the human species was encountered with a new virus, right, those viruses start to fade away. Why? Because our body learns to adapt to that. So when there's a new virus like COVID, for instance, what were we told to do? Right? We were told to stay inside, stay away from other people, right? If you tested positive, by the way, then you were shunned from the family members, events, etc. And you weren't allowed to build this immunity. Now there's thousands of variants of COVID, right? Where it's just running rampant through the whole country because our body wasn't design, or our body wasn't given the opportunity to fight through those things,
Yeah.
right? Because what was the answer? Hey, here's a vaccine, here's a booster,
Yeah.
right? And maybe it was for good reasons from their part, but listen, when it comes to vaccines and the boosters, I'm about to answer
Yes.
your question right there. They predict what strains of that virus is going to be the most dangerous, right? Let's say it's for 2 different strains and there's hundreds of different other strains,
Exactly.
right? You get that chemical that's injected into your body, that toxin,
Yeah.
right? And you're playing Russian roulette with that.
Yeah.
How flu vaccines are made is 2 years before, like, so for vaccines, flu vaccines that's created this year,
Right.
it was created in 2022.
Right.
Because based on the data, they'll say, okay, these strains are what's probably going to be in
Yeah.
2024, and they'll mass produce it.
Yeah.
If they're wrong, oh well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let's switch gears here. Your gut immune connection. What was that?
No accountability.
Yeah, exactly. Your gut. Let's talk about your gut, right? Did you guys know that about 70 to 75% of your immune system is housed in your gut? So how important is taking care of this organ system, right? Because what a lot of people don't know is inside your gut you have trillions of
Yeah.
bacteria, this community that is fighting for you, that's communicating with almost every single cell in your body, right? And when pathogen enters your stomach, there's good bacteria there that's going to fight for you, like the warriors that they are, right? But yeah, exactly. There's good bacteria and bad bacteria, and we call this community the microbiome, okay? And the microbiome is so important to make sure the community is working together, right? So we have to learn how to support that delicate system. And when you have a bacteria or an infection, and you go to your primary care physician, what do they give you?
Oh, antibiotics.
Antibiotic.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you have to take this injection, this ointment, this pill to kill up the bacteria that is making you sick, right? An antibiotic is like an atomic bomb. So for example, let's say in downtown Atlanta, right, let's say there's a building where terrorists are in, this one building, right? We know the bad guys are in it. So instead of sending a special unit, a military, like let's say the SWAT team to take care of those bad guys, right? The decision makers say, okay, let's just drop a bomb in downtown Atlanta to kill those bad guys.
Okay.
That's what we're truly, that's the thought behind antibiotics,
Yeah.
right? Because they don't tell you the consequences of those things, right? Because when you drop that atomic bomb into your system, you're not just killing the bad things that maybe make you sick, you're killing all the good stuff too. So what happens to your immune system later down the road, long term?
It's compromised.
It's compromised, it's weaker, so you end up being sicker longer. Does that make any sense, everyone?
Yeah.
Right? So when it comes to, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I really noticed that with him when he was younger, because they would give antibiotics because he was a preemie, so they would give antibiotics because of his allergies and constant, and I was like, he kept getting sick on top of sick on top of sick. I'm like, no, we gotta stop with antibiotics.
Yeah.
And I didn't know none of this. It was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you gotta stop.
That's what you're
antibiotics.
told, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just
And
do
it's
what
like
you're
it's
told,
like it's like a cultural thing, cultural norm. Hey,
Yeah.
it's an antibiotic. But what we know to be true now is that, you know, as we, you know, progress into this year, have you guys noticed that people that don't get sick are getting sicker now? You know, the sicknesses are lasting longer, right? The symptoms are a little more aggressive. Because as we pump these antibiotics into the population, guess what happens, right? The weaker bacteria might die out, but what about the strong ones?
Them
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a stronger bacteria that just survives over time. So there's these super bacteria and viruses,
Yeah.
right? That only survive, the survival of the fittest,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So everything's going to get worse unless we again radically change the way that we view things. Go ahead.
Last question, I'm sorry, I'm trying
No,
to make it
okay.
quick. So what about when you're getting like your teeth pulled and things like that? I was fighting against getting antibiotic, but my dentist kept pushing it.
Yeah.
So like, what about that? Like if you get that or a root canal and those type
Yeah.
of things, they always obviously recommend the antibiotics. What do you do in that case?
I'll tell you what I would do. I'll tell you what, because I got my tooth pulled because they said, hey, I need to get my tooth pulled to align my teeth when I was getting braces. they were suggesting antibiotics, but I was like, I'm not gonna do that. Because here's the thing, any wound that you have, does your body heal it? Absolutely, especially in your mouth, the saliva and all that good stuff that's actually fighting those bacteria, you know what I mean? And we're gonna talk about other antimicrobial stuff that you can do naturally in just a moment, okay? So when it comes to any issues with health, right, when I wanna get someone healthy, including my family members, we always reflect on the 5 essentials, okay? The 5 essentials, so let's break this down to action steps. So nutrition for a healthy immune system. Again, we're not boosting your immune system, we're just returning back to normal. So if you're a note taker here, this is the time. So God bless you. So let's first talk about what destroys your immune system. And these are these 5 things. I know they're not a surprise, but let's go into the details for a second. So number 1, sugar. We know sugar is bad for you, but how bad is it for your immune system? Is when you have about a tablespoon of sugar, it decreases your immune system for about 6 hours. For 6 hours. So if you imagine, right, if you are a student going through a school, right, let's say you have some Pop-Tarts or cereal for breakfast, you go to lunch and there's more sugary stuff, and you have dinner again and there's, you always have to have dessert, right? So if you imagine if you eat every 6 hours and you have sugar in that meal, you have a constant state when your immune system is suppressed. You guys following me? And second thing, processed food, again, is filled with just damaged fats, right? It's filled with sugar, right? It's filled with all these additives that we know to be true that's gonna cause more inflammation in the body. Refined carbohydrates, anything that looks white. You think about bread, you would think about rice, right? Those things actually turn into sugar. Your body actually recognizes it as sugar. So it's doing the same thing as number 1. Fried foods. So all of these trans fats, or what we call damaged fats, they actually wreck the microbiome. So the good bacteria will die off and it will actually feed the bad bacteria, and it's gonna cause something called dysbiosis. Dysbiosis just simply means that the ratio of those bacteria is actually off. There's a chair right in here, Henrietta, if you want to join us. The last thing, artificial sweeteners. Things like aspartame, sucralose. You think about the sweeteners, the Coke Zeros, the diet sodas. All those things has these artificial sweeteners, again, that all being linked to causing dysbiosis. And man, especially these artificial sweeteners here, and I'm gonna address this at our next workshop. It's called Healthy Family, Healthy Kids, which we know to be true. That actually feeds behavioral issues and neurological problems in kids. We're gonna discuss that at the next workshop. Okay, so let's talk about the top immune boosting foods. And I know if you guys haven't been here for a while, these are not surprising, but the first one is quality fats. Okay. Because in the recent years, people say, hey, don't eat fat because it's going to make you what? Make you fat. But we know that to be completely false. Because every single cell and hormone function in your body needs high quality fat. Every single cell in your body is actually needs cholesterol and fat to reproduce itself. Is that making sense? And these healthy fats that you see here, things like the avocados and nuts and seeds, right? The extra virgin olive oil if you keep it cold, wild caught salmon, all omega-3 fatty acids, all those things are going to actually help your immune system get back to normal, because it's going to actually help your body do what it's supposed to do and decrease the overall inflammation in your body. Second thing is antioxidants, things like the berries, right? The vitamin C's. Antioxidant is 2 different words, anti, against, oxidation. Right, so when you think about oxidation, you eat an avocado or an apple and you leave it on the counter, what happens? It turns what? It starts to turn brown. It starts to look like it's decaying. As your body is actually doing what it needs to do, your body is actually at a cellular level, it gets oxidized. Okay, and then you start to create what we call free radicals. And free radicals are just these molecular level beings that just really don't have a belonging. And it'll start to cause damage because it'll bounce back and forth, and it start causing damage to at your DNA, at your cellular level. And this is something that you don't feel day to day, but the buildup of free radicals and oxidation is very insidious. It impacts your health long term. Does that make sense? So having things like the blueberries, the raspberries, the strawberries, having all these antioxidants helps fight those things. Again, having your immune system function the way it needs to. Citrus fruits. So you have your antioxidants in citrus. And what vitamins are plenty in citrus fruits? Vitamin C, right? And what a lot of people don't know is that everyone knows that vitamin C is good for your immune system, but vitamin C actually helps promote the production of these white blood cells, okay? So what I love to do is, with my water, squeezing in limes and lemons so I can have a constant feed of vitamin C. One thing that you need to look out for vitamin C is that you can't load it. And here's what I mean by that. Is when people get sick or you enter the flu season, you're given a bottle of vitamin C, right? And you're taking all of this amount that you usually haven't had before. What we know about that is everyone has a baseline, and when you load vitamin C, after you stop, it crashes below your baseline. So you're more susceptible to being sick over time. So what you want to do is creating an environment and a lifestyle that is promoting this stuff instead of just going and being reactive in your health, okay? Next is fermented foods, right? You're thinking about the kimchis, the sauerkrauts, things that come in jars, right? And these are what we call symbiotic foods, meaning you have the prebiotics, which are the food for your good bacteria called your probiotics. Okay, so when you're eating this stuff, it's actually going to help replenish the good bacteria in your fetus so you can have this nice microbiome that's going to feed your immune system over time. Okay? And then last thing is quality protein. So if you imagine that everything you eat becomes who you are, right? So if you look at how your skin is made, your tendons, your ligaments, every muscle in your body, and to your hair that's on your head, on your face, your nails, it needs high quality protein to create those things. And even at a cellular level, when you look at your immune system, you have these proteins that are fighting on your behalf. So if you have poor quality proteins, right, that's from a sick animal, what are you going to become? You're going to become a sick animal. And high quality protein actually has a mineral called zinc. I know that everyone has heard of zinc before, especially during this COVID season. And zinc actually helps your white blood cell do its job. So you have this vitamin C that helps produce those cells, and zinc is actually helping it function the way it's designed to, okay? So for me, what I like to do is every single morning, I start my day with quality protein, okay? For me, I think it's the easiest when I use a protein powder, right, from a high quality source, and this is one of them. So what I absolutely love about our protein is that it's from a high quality grass-fed, grass-finished, regenerative sources, okay? We have the whey protein that's up here that's made out of, again, whey, dairy, right? My personal favorite is the bone broth protein that we have on the shelves, okay? If dairy is sensitive to your stomach, the bone broth protein I think is absolutely fantastic. And it's my personal favorite when it comes to flavor. And the reason why I take the bone broth protein every single morning is because the bone broth has collagen in it, okay? So if you think about the lining of your gut, if you think about your ligaments that's literally surrounding every joint and in your spine, right? You need high quality protein to do those things, okay? And we just went through a metabolism makeover, and if you guys were there, you guys heard me say, Dr. Getty say that when you eat protein, your metabolism actually gets higher, right? So that's why I like to start my day with a shake like this, not to just help boost my immune system, but just give your body what it needs to actually do its job. Is that making sense? This is something that you guys can take a picture of. Again, this is not a natural pill that you can take. However, these are the foods that have properties that's going to help your body, again, heal and fight through the bacteria, okay? So for example, colloidal silver and garlic is what we call a broad spectrum antimicrobial, okay? When you hear antimicrobial, again, it's fighting against those bacteria, but when you have this broad spectrum foods, right, it's helping fight against, again, broad spectrum, a lot of different compounds. When it comes to elderberry, what we know to be true is that it actually helps your immune system, and echinacea actually helps you boost your immune system, especially against upper respiratory problems. Okay, ginger is again an antimicrobial, and ginseng. Ginseng is a root that is very popular in Asian cultures. And it's antimicrobial and antiviral, and it's been known to cause a long-term boost in your immune system. I remember growing up, every time I got sick, my grandparents would give me a pack of this just black liquid, and it had ground up ginseng and ginger, and it tasted like dirt. Like I still remember it to this day, but I remember that I had to drink the whole thing, and it was like torture. But the next day, I was always fine. You know what I mean? Yeah, I still taste it. But anyways, when it comes to nutrition, yes, go ahead.
On the Gloria Silver, do you take that by itself?
Yeah, so colloidal silver, there's a liquid form that I personally have. Yeah, so I just get a teaspoon of it, and what you can do is, let's say you have a sore throat or you're fighting something, you put it in your mouth and just kind of gargle it, and it's gonna help again kill the bad stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when it comes to nutrition, guys, I truly believe keeping it simple is the best way. Right, and here's a principle and a law you can always go back to, and it's eating food by God and not by man. Okay, eat the ingredients, not food with an ingredient list. Okay, so every single patient that's in this room, you guys receive either a quick start nutrition guide, right, or you guys have a Align Your Health book that talks about the Maxivane nutrition plan, and I like to call this the core plan. And this is something that this is a way that you should be eating on a day-to-day basis, right? Eating the ingredients. So if you have a season in your life when you're saying, hey, I really need to reset my health. I really need to get off this medication. I really need to lose weight and detox and help my body do its job. And for you, that will be the advanced plan. If you're doing the 30-day challenge, which I know a lot of you guys in this room are doing the 30-day challenge, you're following this right now. The team is following this right now. And I'm not gonna go too much into detail about this, but you're eliminating all the sugars, even high sugar fruits. You're having high quality protein every single day of your life, every single day that you're doing your advanced plan, right? You're eating high quality vegetables, and you're actually increasing the way that you're eating the high quality fats. And just like a car needs gasoline and oil to do its job, you're literally eating food that's going to help your body do its job. Does that make any sense to everyone? So if you're in a season where you're like, hey, I need to radically change my health, then you will always rely on the advanced plan to do so, okay? So let's talk about the immune system, immune supporting nutrients when it comes to supplements. So everybody always asks, hey, what are the supplements that you take, Dr. Choi, when you get sick, when your family member gets sick, and it's this list right here. I always need a high quality protein to start my day. We talk about the importance of probiotics. We talk about how zinc helps your white blood cell do its job, right? Vitamin C right here helps you produce your white blood cells. You can actually get it a lot from citrus fruits. Vitamin D. Vitamin D, I like to call this the magic hormone, right? Because vitamin D is not actually like a vitamin, it's more like a hormone, right? And I'm not gonna go too much into detail here, but during COVID season, in India, they did a massive study on this. And you know where I'm going with this. What it showed is that people who got severe symptoms of COVID, right, and people who actually passed away from this virus, when you look at their blood work, 99.8% of those people were deficient in vitamin D. Okay? And when you had sufficient amount of vitamin D, these are the people who had no symptoms at all, or people who got sick and who fought it off. Okay? What's magical about vitamin D when it comes to fighting viruses is that you have these receptors on your lungs where these COVID viruses like to attack and attach to. So when these viruses attaches to your lungs and they start to replicate and you get symptomatic, right? What was the biggest issue? What was the biggest killer when it comes to COVID? Your upper respiratory problem, pneumonia, etc. Right? And what's magical about vitamin D is actually protects. It actually attaches to those receptors, and it's like a bodyguard. that says, no, you can't attach here, right? So that's the power of vitamin D, being outside and actually getting this stuff through the supplements, okay? And the last thing, ProNac. Maybe you guys have heard of this before, ProNAC. And this was a very popular supplement throughout the recent years, but it's been around for a very, very long time. And ProNac actually helps your body produce something called glutathione. And glutathione is the most powerful antioxidant in your body that your body can actually produce, okay? So whenever your body can actually have enough ProNac and produce enough glutathione, it literally helps your body not age as quickly. It literally helps your body fight against all these oxidation, and your immune system is doing what it needs to do. This is something that I double up on, especially during the season when there's a lot of people who are getting sick, so that my body can have what it needs to fight it off. Again, strengthening the host, okay? So this is the bundle that we have during the immune system workshop. And for you guys who are actually sitting in these seats, the action takers in the room, we want to reward you guys for actually being here. So we usually never have these sales, but every single time we do this workshop, this bundle itself is going to be 20% off for whoever wants to buy this. And if you just want to get different pieces of these supplements to stock up on in your pantry, then every supplement is going to actually be 10% off. Okay, so for those of you guys who actually want to stock up on this stuff, just like I do with myself and my family, you're going to actually go to the front desk after we're done today to get whatever supplement that you actually need. Okay, perfect. You guys good?
Yes.
Focus? All right, Dr. Gay's gonna finish us off, all right?
All right, so who learned something just now?
A lot.
I hope so. I hope so. It reminded me of a lot of things too, so it's not just y'all. Who thinks we're a little bit different doctors than all the other doctors you ever met? A little bit, just a little odd. I agree. I agree. Well, it's about to get worse. So, when you get sick, one thing you always hear is what? Go home and rest. Lay down. Do nothing. I actually want to tell you the opposite of that. I know. And people hate it. They hate hearing it because they're like, I'm tired, I'm hurt, I don't want to do anything. But exercise is crucial to help your body recover quicker. All right? Dr. Troy uses this all the time. It's basically a fever on command. You get to control it. You go out, you build your temperature to kill off all the bacteria and viruses that are in your body, right? So exercise is actually crucial to you getting better quicker. Every time I feel like I'm getting sick, I go out and I do something. Specifically outside, but do some sort of exercise to get your heart rate up, get your temperature up, start sweating, because when you're sweating, it's like, Dr. Troy told me this last week, he's like sweating out the demons. That's what it comes down to.
I love it.
Yeah, you gotta do it. It's one of the most important things you can do because it promotes lymphatic drainage. Now, how many times you go to the doctor, you're sick, and they start touching right here with their cold fingers? Right? If you're feeling the lymph nodes to see if they're swollen. If they're swollen, that means you're down sick with something, right?
Yeah.
That's what lymphatic drainage is. It pushes all that gunk that's in the lymph nodes out and starts to cycle out the bad things, okay? It clears out that fluid. So lymphatic drainage is one, but you do need to listen to your body. I don't want you to just run a marathon, right?
Yeah.
Do something to get you sweating, but then pay attention to how your heart rate is going and bring it back down slowly, okay? So lymphatic drainage, it also promotes blood circulation, right? You all hear it when you're on a plane, you can't just sit there all the time. You get a thrombosis in your leg, you have to get up and move because it circulates the blood. What are in the blood? The white blood cells that you just talked about that actually kill the virus and bacteria in you. So you're promoting two things that literally clean out viruses and bacteria. Why would you not? Sitting down just doesn't make sense, right? So let's focus on exercising the next time you get sick. But it comes down to toxins, right? Toxins overload our body and you have to get them out. All this comes back to interference of what?
Your nervous system?
You got it. Because your nervous system controls what? Your immune system, right? It all comes back, okay? We're gonna do this every slide because it's the most important thing you need to know tonight, okay? Interference to the nervous system will interfere with every other system in your body. You with me?
Yes.
Okay. So, next, we're gonna get into the toxins. And if you were at the makeover, you know now, toxins are literally everywhere. You cannot avoid them all. It's a great idea to try to avoid them because you don't want to just walk into like a hazmat area, right, with open skin. But they're everywhere. Heavy metals, there's damaging chemicals, and our pesticides on our food, in the grass outside. I went to work out by my pool, my neighborhood pool, and they had sprayed the whole thing with pesticides, and I was like, I was getting herpes, and I was like, do I really want my face like in that?
Yeah.
So I chose to do the concrete and tore up my hands today instead, because you just gotta know these things,
Yeah.
okay? Toxins are everywhere, so start paying attention to them.
That's true.
But what they really do, those heavy metals, damaging chemicals, is they disrupt your hormones. Now, can anyone tell me what produces your hormones?
Pituitary gland.
Well, yes, your endocrine system. But what controls the endocrine system to produce those? Your nervous system. Every single time. Okay, now you gotta stay with me.
Yeah, I'm with you on
answer. It's your nervous system every single time.
Yeah.
Okay? When you interfere with the nervous system, your body will not heal the way you were intended to. With me?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at a couple of examples of toxins. These are just two simple examples. We literally use them every day. One, toothpaste. This is Crest toothpaste, and this is on the EWG website. It's Environmental Working Group. You guys can look it up. I've mentioned it many times before. It's a great resource to check your items to see how toxic they are for you, and then make a better choice. Don't just keep using it. All right. So this is Crest toothpaste. It says basically how bad it is with these different ingredients, and it's talking about how much is in it. The allergies and the immunotoxicity for the ingredients in it is at a very high level. Okay, immunotoxicity. What does that mean? Your immune system is being toxified, and then you're not going to be able to heal from your colds, flus, sicknesses. Right? Something as simple as toothpaste. Your kids use toothpaste. Along with the sugar they eat every 6 hours.
Yeah.
Of course they're sick all the time,
Right.
right? So we gotta start paying attention to this. Another one is your water. This is actually Cobb County's water. We pulled that for you guys. You can see those numbers. That's how high the level of that toxic chemical is over the healthy limit.
Wow.
Not legal, okay, so don't go to the police station. They're not gonna change it. It's legal under that, but it's not healthy for you. Okay, look at that, 460 times more than the healthy amount, and it's in our water. That's why we have that stainless steel filter in there. It takes literally everything out of the water, so you're just getting H2O. All right, so we need to start paying attention to these toxins, because if you can start eliminating them, your nervous system is going to work better, which means your immune system is going to work better, which means you're sick less and in a much shorter distance. Okay. So check your home. This is another QR code you guys can use, or you can just look it up. It's very simple, EWG. They have an app. You take it everywhere, scan everything you want, get rid of the toxic materials in your life. Let me know when you guys are ready.
Well, you can't get rid of them, you have to mitigate.
Exactly. You're exactly right, Rachel. You cannot get rid of all of them. And that's why it's so important to stay getting adjusted to allow your body to adapt to the food that you have. Right? But you still have to try to find a way to get rid of most of them. Okay? You good, Vern?
Yes.
Alright. Alright, so if you're interested in this, I can't go into toxins that much. We're gonna have another workshop specifically on these toxins, like Rachel talked about. You can't get rid of all of them, but there's a lot to go through. Okay? So we're actually gonna have another workshop on April 8th. It's a Monday at 6:30, kind of like this. And it's called Chemical Combat, Defend Your Wellbeing. So we're gonna find out the toxins and how to get rid of them, and then how we fight against that.
There's a sign sheet at the front desk.
There you go.
Yes, actually.
Good plug. Right at the front desk. All right. Ready? Okay. So the first thing you have to do is trust your body. Like Dr. Troy was talking about, we can't be fearful in these moments. Okay? Fear creates more stress, which means leads you to be more susceptible to staying sick. Right? Trust your body. Because can we agree our body's smart?
Yes.
Great. Awesome. It's not stupid.
It's not smooth.
So everything it does is pushing you towards health. Okay, good. So trust it. You gotta know it's doing the right thing for you. Because how many of you have healed from a cold or flu?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Can I see hands first? How many of you have healed from a cold or a flu?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Everybody.
Right.
Right. Your body knows what to do.
Yeah.
So believe in it.
Yep.
All right. That's the first thing. So we're limiting the toxins We're limiting the bad things that cause interference to the body, and one of those main things that can cause interference to your body, the opposite of trusting it, is a bad mindset.
Yeah.
So we need to focus on how to get a good mindset moving forward, right? So when you are having a bad mindset, it increases the amount of stress, which we just talked about, increases or decreases the immune response. So if you have stress, your sympathetic nervous system is your stress, your gas. Oh gosh, where is that? Gas at 10, okay? Your parasympathetic is your brake, 0. It slows you down, allows your body to heal. When you're stressed out, emotionally, physically, it doesn't matter, your brain doesn't know the difference. You are on the gas.
Yeah.
Here, your body will not heal,
Yeah.
okay? That's the big thing to remember from stress. You have to eliminate the amounts of stress in your body, to get your body to heal, okay? The one thing they found about COVID, the CDC put this out. The #1 reason you get COVID is obesity. That one's pretty obvious to most
Right.
people, right? It's
Right.
chronic disease builder and everything. The second thing was fear, which is what they were doing to you every single day on the news, right?
No wonder the numbers.
Exactly. Because you build that stress level, your immune system can't respond the way it was designed to, just like Dr. Choi explained to us. So we need to create the right mindset. Yeah, what?
The people who did not really have any symptoms or didn't get it were people like my brother who was out every day during the pandemic.
Yeah.
He didn't have a single problem.
Every single day I was
Single
out.
problem.
Every single
But he
day.
was out every day.
You're getting vitamin D, you're getting social interaction. These are all huge pieces to you staying healthy. You guys with me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I traveled more during COVID.
exactly. And that's why you stay healthy, right?
I didn't get it.
Exactly. So we need to fight against those stressors, okay? So we need to focus on some things that bring you peace. One of those things during COVID, for me, I would take my dogs on 2 walks every day for at least a half hour.
Right.
Like just seeing how happy they were made me happier.
Yeah.
I got out in the sunshine, we walked past some cows grazing in the field. Like, it was the most peaceful environment I could possibly
Yeah.
get to.
Yeah.
Every day, twice a day, right? So that's not gonna work for all of you because you don't all have dogs, but you need to find something that's going to work for you. Some of you, it might be meditation. Some of you, it might be your prayer life. Some of you, it might be a small group at your church, right? Find something that works for you to mitigate the stress in your life because your health depends on it, all right? So let's move on to this. Can we agree sickness is a part of health? Yeah.
It is.
I saw a
It is.
lot of crinkled
It
faces
is.
on that one. Everyone's like, wait a minute. It is. Because your body's always doing something smart,
Right.
right?
That's right.
The fever is a sickness,
Yeah.
but it's something smart that your body's getting rid of. A cough, the same thing. A sneeze, the same thing.
Yeah.
Vomiting, the same thing.
Yeah.
You guys with me?
Yeah.
It's getting out the bad things, so it's always something that's healthy for you.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't block it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because as soon as you start interfering with it, you're gonna stay sick longer, like Dr. Choi explained.
Yeah.
The second part here is your inner car battery. It's exhaustion. Okay, you got to think of your life. You have a battery. It's always running. You got to keep it on high if you want to actually fight against things. If you want your immune system to work properly, you have to have a high battery level.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen to your body, and when you know you're getting exhausted, recognize your body's probably working overtime.
Yeah.
The immune system is very expensive, energetically speaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay?
Good one, good.
Why does everyone say they're fatigued when they get sick? It's because their body's working overtime.
Yeah.
So pay attention to your body and then try to add that more sleep in to allow your body to recover and get back to normal. Along with everything else that Dr. Choi talked about.
Yeah.
Nutrition wise, supplement wise, sunlight, all the great things, exercise like I mentioned. And then lastly, I've told this to a few of you, I think. You don't get sick. You are expressing health, right?
Right.
Change your language to change your mindset too, right? Words are very powerful. You tell yourself you're gonna have a crappy day, I guarantee you go out and have a crappy day.
Yeah.
Same thing with your health. If you're sick, if you're sick, if you're sick, if you're sick, you are going to get sick.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're healthy, if you're pushing towards health, if you're confident every time you walk out of that room you get an adjustment, you know your body's functioning closer to 100%, you are going to stay healthy. Okay? So keep that in mind as we move forward. But then we have to talk about what is the real definition of health, right? Most of you know this now. Health is how your body heals and how your body functions, which is all these smart things like symptoms, all right? So the real definition of health is how our body functions. We're always pushing towards 100% function, just like we taught you guys the first couple days here, right? 100% function is the goal. At that point, your body will fight off anything that comes near you. It will heal from every injury, okay? It will recover from any illness. It will do exactly what it needs to do at 100% function. And you never stay on one spot on that spectrum from 0 to 100%. Every choice you make pushes you closer towards health or closer towards death. You get to make those choices every single day. When I was coming home from lunch today, I'm doing the 30-day challenge with most of you. You're supposed to exercise 20 minutes. I know if I didn't exercise my 20 minutes at lunch, I wasn't exercising today. I got people counting on me. I can't just not show up, right?
Yeah.
I had a choice to make in my car. I was 2 minutes from my house. I was like, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna eat lunch, I'm just gonna sit there, stare at the ceiling. And then I was like, no.
Yeah.
That's pushing me towards death.
Yeah.
It just is.
That's good to hear.
So as soon as I got home, I literally ran up the stairs. My wife's like, what are you doing? I was like, if I don't go work out now, I'm not gonna work out. I completely shut her out. I changed.
Yeah.
I ran back out the door. I got my exercise in. I came back, and you know what? I still made it back to work on time.
Yeah.
Right? And I already got it done. Now I can go home and rest. So you're always making a decision towards 100% or towards 0%.
That's
Choice
true.
is yours.
That's it.
Okay? What controls the function?
Nervous
Unison. I love it. All the saints agree said.
Amen.
All right, so the nervous system controls everything, right? We have the chart here. You guys can see it. Every single organ, cell, tissue in your body is controlled by your nervous system first, which is why we just talked about the immune system. It's crucial. It's one of the most important systems in your body, but it's not the most important. That nervous system is the most important. That's the one that controls the immune system, that controls your cardiac, that controls your lungs, that controls all the muscles in your body, controls all your aches and pains. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Literally everything. If you're not taking care of that, you're missing the point. Okay? Gratefully, you guys are patient, so I know you're taking care of yourself. So the nervous system controls it. The spine is just the suit of armor, like Dr. Cho talked about. It protects the structure. If your central nervous system was in your big toe, Demetrius, I'd adjust your big toe. I couldn't care less about your spine.
Right.
I only care about it because your brain and spinal cord is housed in it.
Absolutely.
All right? That's our focus every single time you walk in this office, is to make sure your brain is communicating to your body as perfect as it can. That's it. Your body will do the rest.
Yeah.
Right? Can we agree with that?
Yes.
Good. But
at least hear us out when we say we have AIDS.
absolutely, you got
That's
it.
right.
We know it hurts. We know it doesn't make it suck any less. That's why I always say it, right? But the way that your spine affects your nervous system is through trauma, often, right? You guys know the macro traumas, car accidents. Football is a car accident on every single play.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't ever listen to a football player say, I'm healthy, because I know darn well they're not.
Yeah.
All right? So macro traumas are the big things that we all think about. Then you got the micro traumas. These are the ones we ignore every day.
Yeah.
Most of you right now are taking notes. Great. I'm glad you're taking notes. Your head's looking down.
Yeah.
We probably look down 95% of the day. Okay? We look down at our kids. We
Yeah.
look down at our paperwork. We look
Yeah.
down at our phones. We
Yeah.
look down at our notes. We look down at our laptops. Literally everything.
Yeah.
Right? Take some time to put your head back.
Yeah.
Remember when you were a kid?
Yeah.
You looked up at the sky.
Yeah.
You're like, look at the clouds up there.
Yeah.
Look at the moon.
Not these
Right?
days.
We don't do that anymore. Right? Those are the micro traumas that destroy our spine and put pressure on the nervous system, which interferes the function of our brains. Okay? That's the thing we fight against every time you guys come in here. So you're like, how does this happen every time? Well, did you go to work this week? That's probably why.
Yeah.
All right? It's just the way life works. We're never away from it.
Right.
On top of that, you have gravity, which you can't leave.
Yeah.
All right? If you're biomechanically stressed, if my head's forward to center, gravity's pushing down on it more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with every part of your spine.
Gotcha.
Okay? So, this is the big S word that you guys learned in the first few days you were here. Subluxation, right? Subluxation is when that spine gets trauma or stress or moves out of alignment and puts pressure on the nervous system and does not allow your brain to communicate to your body correctly. That is what we remove every time you walk in here. We find the subluxations, we correct it, and we leave it alone. So that's why sometimes when you guys say it hurts here though, you say, but that's not where you're subluxated. I know it hurts, but that's not where the pressure on the nerve is. Right? Our job is to find the pressure on the nerve and remove it. That will allow your brain to talk to your body. Okay? This is huge because I know a lot of you have been coming here for a while, and I love that. Now look at how strong your immune system is. 200% strong. 200%. It knows what's happening if you've been here for more than 5 years. That's what studies say. That's not my opinion. All right? That's what they've tracked. Your immune system works better when you've had longevity under chiropractic care. Okay? So, you need to adjust for recovery. Get your extra adjustments. People ask us if we get adjusted, like, we just sell it. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I get adjusted at least twice a week, almost every week, right?
Yeah.
Because I know my body's bent over you guys. I go to work out. I have to hold my kid like this when I'm trying to put him to sleep. Like, I know it's a problem, okay? So get your extra adjustments when you feel something going on.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to allow your nervous system to function optimally, to let whatever other system is having the symptom work better.
Yeah.
With me? Break your bad habits. Those are the things we just talked about. The micro traumas that you live in, okay? The stressful environments you walk into every day, okay? The head down at the phone, you're working 55 hours plus a week, right? Your body's not going to function. We need to start breaking those bad habits. I'm not telling you to quit your job, okay? But we need to find some ways to limit that stress, all right? And then your home care exercises are crucial. You guys, I know this sounds like a broken record, but it's the retainer for your braces. The braces is that corrective program we go through for your spine. The retainers, when you go home and do those exercises, when you go on vacation, you take your stuff with you, right? I know you're going to be able to hold those adjustments much better, rather than you just going on vacation and forgetting about it. Okay? So that's a crucial piece as well. Those are the 3 things you do as soon as you need to recover faster. So let's cover some takeaways. I wrote these down because I didn't want to mess them up. Or miss them, whatever one. 1, your nervous system is always in control. Every time. So how can you eliminate that interference? Breaking those bad habits, creating a good home care exercise routine, and then making sure you get chiropractic adjustments, okay? Number 2, if your body is smart and fighting against a natural response, I'm sorry, I should have put a comma there, it wasn't very good. It wasn't very well written. If your body is smart and you're fighting against a natural response with a medication or a vaccine or whatever it may be, doesn't that make it a stupid response?
Right.
I'm not calling you name, I said the response is stupid. Okay? It does conflict with the healing process, like Dr. Choi explained to you guys. Okay? I know there's a time and place for medication surgery, don't get me wrong. But majority of the time we jump to it much too quickly.
Yeah.
Okay? And lastly, 3, even sick, your body is expressing health.
Right.
Don't be scared of sickness.
Right.
Your body's doing the right thing. So, get your phones out. This is an important one. This is what we do every single time we get sick. Every single time we're expressing health, I should say, excuse my language. Every time we're expressing health, these are the things we run our minds through every single day. Did we do that? Did we do that? What can I add more of? Exercise, like we talked about, how important that is. Making sure you're getting sleep, because sleep is the only time your body recovers. Getting extra adjustments, because if your nervous system is interfered with, I know you're not going to get better faster. Okay? Limit and avoid your stressful situations. Honestly, that takes a lot of work in our day and age, but that's something we have to do if we want to get healthy. No sugar and drink water. The no sugar thing is impressive to me because everything has sugar in it.
Yeah.
When you feel sick, and when I see family members, they're sick and they go eat dessert, I'm just staring at them like,
Right.
you just want to be sick. That has nothing to do with health at all. That's your choice, right? So avoiding that sugar is crucial. And then drinking water. Water will bring out the toxins, okay? It flushes everything out of your blood system, okay? Simple nutrient-dense foods like Dr. Choi was talking about, all the things that boost your immune system, okay? Broth and soup are great ones, especially bone broth. And then supplementation, okay? Like Dr. Choi said, don't overdose on it. You just need to stay consistent with it, okay? You stay consistent, you know your body has the ingredients for your nervous system to actually utilize, okay? And then give your body time, but you need to take action.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean rest, okay?
No.
You still need to keep moving, keep doing the right things. And lastly, we're gonna ask you guys to connect, because I wanna know, how many of you know somebody who doesn't understand what I just talked about? I mean, we all got like a dozen people, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
at least.
We're holding this back from them, and they're being lied to. They have no clue that their body knows what it's doing
Yeah.
at all. We need to be strong enough to tell them.
Yeah.
So the next time you see somebody sick and they're doing something that's not good for them, say, hey, why don't you try this?
Most people want the easy way out. so
You're
that's not
100%
an issue.
right. You're 100% right. And I tell you what, it's their choice, right? But all you gotta do is be able to give them the options, okay? And number one thing is what?
Your nervous
Your
system.
nervous system. If you're not taking care of your nervous system, you're wasting it. Okay, is literally degenerating as we speak if you're not getting adjustments consistently. And I know your immune system is gonna function a lot better if you are under chiropractic care, okay? You got it, I love that. All right, couple more things here. You become the people that are closest to you. You guys ever heard that before?
Oh, yeah.
You become the 5 closest people that you're
Surround yourself.
Exactly, right? So if you show me your friends, we can show you your future,
Yeah.
right? Your friends need to be getting chiropractic care. They need to be taking these 5 essentials seriously. Otherwise, they're gonna drag you down with them.
That's
Yeah.
I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
Talk about vacations, right? They'll make you do the stupidest things, right? When you're with your friends. So why don't you be the brave one and tell them the smart thing to do? Okay? That's why we always ask you guys, hey, do you remember anybody that you should tell about this? Because it's that important. Because we know that when you get healthier, you get happier. When you're happier, our communities get safer,
Yeah, that's true.
That's a fact.
That's true.
right? And isn't that what we're all searching for anyways, a little bit of happiness?
Yes.
Healthy and happy go together.
Yeah.
There was a longevity study, it's the longest study ever done in human history, 85 years. They studied 2 groups of people, one rich, one poor. They followed them all the way through life. They found out the link to happiness was health.
Yeah.
And the link
Yeah.
to health was happiness.
Yeah.
You need to have them both.
Mm.
All right. So reach out to your friends. Make sure they're getting this concept. Invite them to the next workshop.
Yeah.
It's free. Just bring them and let them get some information. Okay. So can we commit to doing that?
Yes.
All right. If you have anybody in your mind right now, you can sign them up for an appointment. Okay. You can give us their number. We'll call them if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're comfortable with that. We're not going to force you to do that, obviously. We obviously want you to reach out to them, but we need to take the next steps to create a healthier community. Can we agree?
Absolutely.
All right. Was this good for you guys?
This is
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So that's the last thing I got for you guys. Don't forget to sign up for the next workshop if you're interested in toxins and getting rid of the toxins in your life. And don't forget to tell your friends how important their health is.
Thank you so much.
All right?
Thank you
We're all
guys so
set.
much.
You guys have a great night.